That guy told your audience needs at least 12 minutes of your content to consume so that they become your real connected audience.
We essentially, what we do is we take over entire personal brands apart from the client filming the content.
Yeah, perfect. So, I came across your brand because of your content, your agency, because of your content, and it showed up on my feed. So, I wanted to get in touch with you regarding personal branding services for my co-founder,
Okay.
who is starting up a fitness, transformation agency, basically. So, just run me through the process.
We mainly work with online coaches.
Okay.
People who provide some sort of a service online, and that goes high ticket as well, right? So in those cases, it's more curated towards us being a fit. Otherwise, the first step is always personal brand, because there's no point to promising a certain amount of leads if the brand is not built. So in those cases, for example, here because a brand is not there, promising leads or sales goes out of the window instantly. So that's number one. Secondly, we essentially, what we do is we take over entire personal brands apart from the client filming the content. So we come up with the complete brand strategies, we ideate the content pieces, we research, we do everything. We tell the client, this is what you're gonna film, this is how many times you're gonna film each month, and then we essentially manage the client films it, sends it to us, and then we get the content made out of it. And that's how we do it completely organically. So there's no paid ads involved, or there's no follower growth which is inorganic, or paid stuff, right? None of that is involved. So it's purely organic.
And then I'm a bit confused about how to start my personal brand and also which platform to pick. Like, should I go for YouTube and go for that long form content? Because I heard this guy that you kind of like are in relation with this Akshat, and that guy told in one of the snippets that I watched, he said your audience needs at least 12 minutes of your content to consume so that they become your fans or they become like a real connected audience. And in short form content, that takes a lot of time, so you have to switch to long form somehow. So I'm like, should I go for YouTube now and long form? And I heard that YouTube shorts doesn't convert to then long form, which is the best for like a B2B business. It's a fucking mess. So if you can help me with that, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, thanks a lot for the overall context. When you're starting your personal brand, a big difference between that and an account with the name is that the second one is a personal brand, and this is more of a founder-led business. To get into personal branding completely, people have to know more about you other than just what you're working on or what you recently created. That's a different thing. Now, going to the topic of long form, diving straight into long form with no audience, it will just increase the amount of time that it will take for you to build more of an established audience. The topic about content minutes, the 12-minute thing that Akshat said, right? It's very variable. Although one thing that's completely true is that with short form content, it takes more time for people to turn into your fans, right? That's why volume has to be there. But again, the production of short form content is way simpler than long form, right? If you're planning one long form content, it's like putting together 10 short form content pieces at once. And then you have to make sure that it's engaging through and through, so you don't have a retention chart like that, right? Even I am working on something like that. So Instagram for founder personal brands, that's probably the lowest barrier to entry right now, because and the really good thing about your account, the Stag Outlet one, is that you already have traction. So you can build a lot of initial traction to boost the amount of results. So I'm actually waiting for a discovery call. This is supposed to be an inbound, this is an inbound meeting, and the guy put all the information. Usually I disqualify a lot of the inbound calls I get. This one qualified to some extent. Maybe I can sell him on one of the offers I have. Now, the only thing I hate is when people are not on time, right? Now, the call was supposed to be at 2 p.m. It's 2:02, and usually what I do is I'm pretty lenient with reschedules. But if this guy ends up on ends up as a no-show, then I'm just not gonna reschedule the call again. And yeah, I'm gonna wait for like, let's say not 30, like maybe 8 to 10 minutes max, and then let's see if this guy joins, then only I'm gonna take this call. So जैसा कि आप सब यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, हैव अ लुक, यहाँ पे कॉल पे मेरे अलावा और कोई नहीं. ओके, इट्स ऑलमोस्ट 10 minutes since the call started, and this is what I mean when I say that, you know, there are there's a very rare amount of prospects or just people in general from India that are punctual, or if they are not punctual, they give a heads up. I don't think I've had more than 5 no shows from prospects outside of India in this entire year. But a lot of these calls that are thorough, and then they are qualified as well, and I drop them an email about the call happening, and then we have like 3-4 email sequences as well, and still these people don't show up. That just, like, you know, solidifies the idea again. Communication is always one thing that I emphasize a lot on, and it wasn't communicated. I just sent an email that I'm not going to take this call right now, and if you still want to reschedule it, you can send over all of the information via email, and I'll reschedule the call only if we consider that as a fit, and if it's not, then the chance is gone. We have to respect our time as we respect others' time. I have another meet booked for what? Let me check. 2:35. It's like about 30 minutes left, so I'll get some work done until then. Alright, we are back at making our coffee. It's 12:05. This coffee, like, इसका schedule ideally 10:45 a.m. के around होता है, or 10:30. But I woke up really late today, and I don't have I'm not gonna go to the 6 p.m. jiu-jitsu session. I'll do weights later on. इसलिए yeah, schedule थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे चलता है इन दिनों में फिर. Fridays are usually like this, where Thursday रात को and Friday रात को I spend a lot of time just doing creative work or just chilling, and sleep थोड़ी ऊपर नीचे हो जाती है. But what I do also is, okay, if I'm spending more time into just doing creative work and not caring about my schedule, so I tend to take a lot of calls, क्योंकि उन दिनों में फिर I don't have to think much when I'm taking a lot of these calls, whether it's with my team or whether it's with any client or sales calls as well, right? तो deep work वाले दिनों को side में रख के having these makers block is different. तुम लोगों को दिख रहा होगा वो कपड़े पूरे दिन कपड़े सूख रहे होते हैं यहाँ पे, because it rains every day. Pune में. So yeah, we are gonna make the coffee, and then उसके बाद में we are getting straight into creating the assets for the agency, and then I have 3 discovery calls in the afternoon, and तीनों discovery calls inbound थी, plus all 3 are Indian prospects. So let's see how these go. मैंने बस इनको cancel नहीं किया है, cancel the remaining 99% of the call. So let's see ये इनका क्या रहता है. And also something that I have been doing, because like these days I'm focusing a lot on the agency work, so I tend to not put much time into reading. So what I do in this time is I listen to an audiobook. So currently I'm listening to Skin in the Game, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, and I have the book as well, but मेरे पास में time नहीं है उस book को पढ़ने का. So it's always good to listen to it while I am making this coffee. Usually मेरे schedule में ऐसा होता है that I make the coffee and then I sit on the sofa there for like 30 minutes or so and then just read and chill. But I saw before I went home I was doing it every day, and then I actually saw that उससे थोड़ा productivity कम हो गया था because I was starting my work day late. So what I have been doing since I came back from home is I start some work, make coffee, and then take the coffee to work, and then work for like another 30-40 minutes, and उसके बाद में I have breakfast, then it's just relentless work again. तो अभी का पूरा schedule ऐसा चल रहा है, and yeah, there's nothing else. Bye. Alright, so this is 3rd of October 24, and I planned to not do the vlogs weekly now. It's just that not much happens every week in my life. It's just the constant work. I mean, you can say it's the winter arc right now. So every day is pretty much the same schedule over and over again. So the last time I did one of these vlogs, I was back home, and that was on 15 September. So I came back to my apartment on 22nd. I did not do much work when I was back home, and my sleep schedule was fucked completely. I was sleeping at like 4 a.m. Then I was waking up at 12 having breakfast, and then I used to sleep again until 3-4 p.m. and that's when my day actually started. So that's how I spent pretty much a week at home, and in that time I was working probably like 1 hour a day. Now after coming back, that's when it took me a week to fix my sleep schedule to an extent, because I came back all pumped up. I went for training, and then I could not sleep until like 3 a.m. again, 4 a.m. again. So I was waking up really late. I mean, I still wake up really late. I wake up at like 9:30 every day, maybe 10 a.m. But still, that's more of the manageable schedule that I can have right now. So about a week, so 22nd until 29th, 30th, that's the amount of time it took. During the weekend, we went to the Seedhe Maut show here in Pune. That was fun. I spent pretty much the entire Sunday with that, and yeah, it's Thursday right now, and I've been working pretty hard on the agency. So some of the changes that have happened recently now are that from July until mid-August, a lot of the work went into Expert Creator Blueprint. Then work went into figuring out the content plan for the next 6-7 months, you can say. Now that both of those are sorted, I have version 1 of Export Creator Blueprint done. The next step is the agency, and that's something that I've been working on the day since I came back to Pune. So setting up sales processes, cutting off ties with clients that are not that's just not helping both of the sides. Closing a new client, and then probably gonna close another client later this week. I mean tomorrow, actually, you can say. And apart from that, setting up better sales processes, plus making content effortless to a level where I'm not completely away from it, because I have seen that if you decide to repurpose too much of your short form content from coming from a point where you were actually scripting it and you were planning it a lot before, it just doesn't work. You have to keep on doing scripted short form content until you become good enough with long form content that then you can now move towards short form in that manner. But I'm not there yet, so I'm not going to be unrealistic with myself. I saw that when I'm filming videos like this for Instagram, that's when it took a lot of time for me and effort in planning as well, because then I have to plan what lines I would say on camera and then what lines would have like B-rolls on top of it. I've removed that complexity from the videos for just a bit. So for about a month, most of my videos will only be around B-rolls. It's not like it'll be all B-roll trends and all the generic stuff. It will still be scripted, and it will still have all of the values that I give. It will just be lesser amount of effort from my end. So filming B-rolls in a batch, writing scripts in a batch, so then I can send over the videos to be edited in a batch. Right now we have like 13 videos in the pipeline for Why Saksham. I'm gonna create like another 8 to 10 by the end of this week. So that's me sorted for like 3-4 weeks from there, and that's how I'm gonna pile up the content overall. Plus we are changing the content strategy completely on my company account. So that's another thing, but I've made that effortless as well. The whole idea was how can I have the positioning properly defined with the content that we are doing, plus it makes sense with the intention that we have. So Why Saksham is again building awareness, keeping my personal brand alive, and then Metro Media House is where we get agency clients. So before it was more of a second personal brand of mine, but now we're going to move completely towards having a company brand, and I think I can afford that flexibility because I have earned that. Those are some of the changes. Apart from that, I've been training very hard. I've been training every day since I came back, doing jiu-jitsu every day, doing weights 3 times or 3 times at least a week, and then going all rounds and rolling while doing jiu-jitsu. Plus I have changed up my schedule in a way in which I am not doing the activities that looked like it was giving me peace when it was just taking away time from my end. So I spent some time. I used to spend a lot of time drinking my coffee and reading books. So pretty much about 90 minutes of the day used to go there. But now what I've done is I've actually stopped reading any book. all I'm doing is when I'm making breakfast or when I'm making my coffee, stuff like that. In those small periods of time, I'm just gonna listen to an audiobook. And I've been listening to Skin in the Game recently. I mean, pretty recent book. It's complex to understand while I'm listening to it, but again, I think that's serving its purpose. So overall, that's how the last, like, 2.5 weeks have gone by. I'm planning these to be more bi-weekly. That's how I'm gonna keep it more eventful, and it will have more aspects to the entire thing. But of course, I will still be transparent about what I'm building. The whole aim for the next 3 months is to set up the agency in a way in which, like I said, I think I mentioned it somewhere else. The whole aim for the next 3 months is to set up the agency, sort out the team in a way in which we can handle, let's say, 4 to 5 additional clients at any point of time. So I don't need to worry about hiring. So doing that, and then figuring out the service delivery to an extent. And number 3, setting up sales processes in a way in which in January I'm only taking sales calls and doing the bare minimum. That's it. So that's how things are gonna go moving forward. This is the end note for this vlog. What was it? Was it week 38, 39? Probably. Yeah. So that's how the vlog is gonna be, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.